Hello.
Hey,
How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing today?
I'm good. It's Memorial Day. I don't think
Right?
you're supposed to say Happy Memorial Day. Um, I don't think that's appropriate.
Probably not.
But I do enjoy Memorial Day. Like it's time to take a breather,
Sure.
think about things. I've had a chance to do that. So yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, this is a reflective day coming off the back of what, like 79 reflective days in a row.
Yeah, yeah. I guess you could say that. I guess you could say that. It is typically, an unofficial kickoff to summer.
That's true.
Um, and this year, of course, it will be a summer we may not have. From a conventional activity.
Yeah, not from an atmospheric one. The sun is going to do what it does.
Yes, yes. So it'll be steaming outside, and those of us in North Carolina will be in the, wet with the moisture of air conditioning.
Oof. Yeah.
Yeah. So, how are you?
I'm great, thanks. We're wrapping up a little cabin in the woods time in my family. In the sense of we're far away from people and we're surrounded by trees, not in the there's an axe murderer out to get us sense. And we're just we're taking it chill while we can. It's very likely that both my parents are going to have to start going back into the offices in the next couple weeks. So we just wanted to make the quarantine feel as like cozy and homey as possible while we were able to stay home. And I took a hot shower, so I'm in a very tranquil place right now.
That's good. We've just started the grill, I think.
Nice.
I think we're doing pork chops tonight. I'm not entirely clear. We bought pork chops today, and we went to a blueberry patch, and we picked some blueberries. So
that's the point.
Yeah, it's fun. That's what North Carolina is a greenhouse, and so it grows everything. You cannot not grow something in North Carolina. So we went and got some blueberries, and I'm sure we'll do something with those. So hey,
blueberries the best.
Claire.
Hey.
It's been 3 months since we started this little project, and here we are.
Yeah.
Ready to release our first podcast after our podcast release or announcement party, which was end of February. So it's been a minute. But
it's longer than I've been at the company.
Yeah. So I think it's your first project officially.
Yeah, kind of is.
So here it is in public. So anyway, I just want to tell folks out there who have joined us, hello. Pleasant Memorial Day to you. I'm Jeremy. I'm artistic director of Sweet Tea Shakespeare, and this is Claire.
Hello, I'm the assistant artistic director. Very nice to see all of you, kind of.
I'm in North Carolina, where Sweet Tea Shakespeare is. Claire is not in North Carolina.
No.
Claire is in Oregon.
Yeah.
There's a story here, which is that Claire had hoped to be in North Carolina by now, and if it weren't for the cluster that is coronavirus and its response, she would be here, and we would be working on Knight's Tale.
Yeah, we would.
So we're going to see when that happens sometime. Yeah. But in the meantime, we've been working on a podcast. We have many, many podcast plans coming up.
We do.
So I'll tell you about those after we listen to the episode. But what's going to happen now is we're going to play the episode live, and I have to say something about the audio, which is that I am at home and surrounded by family, and so you may hear my children shouting at each other, maybe. Or you might hear the sounds of Fortnite echoing through the walls. I don't know. But we're going to play the episode. Hopefully you can hear it. You can see the link is right down here. So if you want to take the next 20 minutes or so and just put it in your earbuds, actually that helps us a lot because it looks like a download. And it like boosts us in the algorithm. Anyway, we're going to play it here. Claire's going to be on mute, but my microphone, if everything goes well, is going to play the episode over the next 18, 20 minutes. I will be here most of that time. I may go grab a drink, but I will be here most of that time answering questions, looking at the chat, so feel free to make comments, answer questions. I'll post them on the screen if I can. And after that time period, which isn't too long, we'll come back, we'll chat a bit, answer some questions, and talk to you about the podcasts you should expect after this. Isn't that amazing?
What's amazing is that the next ones will not take 3 months to be released, we promise.
Yeah, maybe I don't want to curse it, but maybe like a week. Maybe a week.
Yeah.
We'll see.
More like that.
I trust us. Okay, so I'm gonna so it's gonna be a little tricky and a little clunky because we're new at this. But those of you who are listening in, if you cannot hear this very well, just leave a note in the comments and I will boost the signal. And then we'll see you in about 20 minutes. So let me, I have to click all of the do-hangies. So just give me a second. See you in a few.
See you soon.
Welcome to the Sweet Tea Shakespeare Hours, where we spend time well by spending it together. I'm your host, Claire Martin.
And I'm Jessie Wise. Sweet Tea Shakespeare is a theater company based in Fayetteville, North Carolina that doubles frequently as a band called the Worshipful Company of Spectacle Makers that normally provides music before and during our productions. In this time of quarantine, and we hope beyond that, we thought we'd change things up a bit. A few times during Shakespeare's career, his theater companies had to close their doors because of disease, in this case the plague, making it dangerous to gather in large groups. Each of these times, Shakespeare and his fellows had to employ their ingenuity to keep their operations afloat, their bills paid, and food on their tables. Playing companies packed up and headed for the countryside, where there were fewer people and less virulent environments. Shakespeare resorted to writing his now famous sonnets and long poems for his patron, adapting to meet challenges with creativity and wonder. Sweet Tea Shakespeare is committed to that kind of ingenuity.
Now, here's Nathan serving up our drink of the day.
I'm Nathan. Before we begin in earnest, we wanted to raise a toast to two very special, very exclusive groups of people. Before we can raise that toast, we need to make this hour a cocktail hour. So go ahead and grab your emergency cocktail supplies so you can enjoy sipping on something sweet for this episode. We recommend a cocktail we're calling A Plague on Both Your Houses. Make it with 2 ounces of gin, not quite an ounce of simple syrup. Same with lime juice. A few drops of bitters. We like Angostura, but if you have another kind you like, go for it. Some cucumber and mint to your liking, and a dash of salt. Muddle everything but the gin and bitters together at the bottom of a glass. Add ice, gin, and sprinkle the bitters on top. Garnish with another cuke and a sprig of mint or rosemary. Now that you're all set, let's raise that toast.
Cheers to you, Nathan. Now let's enjoy our litany for the episode. Jessie, back to you.
A Litany in Time of Plague by Thomas Nash. Adieu, farewell, earth's bliss. This world uncertain is. Fond are life's lustful joys. Death proves them all but toys. None from his darts can fly. I am sick, I must die.
Lord, have mercy on us. Rich men trust not in wealth. Gold cannot buy you health. Physic and self must fade. All things to end are made. The plague full swift goes by. I am sick, I must die.
Lord, have mercy on us.
Beauty is but a flower, which wrinkles will devour. Brightness falls from the air. Queens have died young and fair. Dust hath closed Helen's eye. I am sick, I must die.
Lord, have mercy on us.
Haste therefore each degree to welcome destiny. Heaven is our heritage, earth but a player's stage. Mount we unto the sky. I am sick, I must die.
Lord, have mercy on us.
Nothing like a little Thomas Nash during quarantine. Next up is Nathan with a bit of historical context on the plague during the Elizabethan era. Nathan, take it away.
The inhabitants of William Shakespeare's England were already survivor descendants of the Black Death, or the bubonic plague pandemic, which had ravaged Europe in the mid-14th century and caused tens to hundreds of millions of deaths. Though it had declined from those extreme and devastating levels over the years, it never really disappeared. In various places, even as the 100 Years' War and the Wars of the Roses waged on, plague still erupted in peaks, endemic in the country, and small communities endured disturbing death tolls. Scattered outbreaks during most of the Tudor period may have been small enough that the wider population could avoid them. In the summer and fall of 1563, however, a great plague arrived in London with alarming intensity. The death rate was severe enough to prompt weekly mortality rolls, and Queen Elizabeth I invoked long-standing isolation measures while eventually introducing new controls over the next 15 years. Blue crosses appeared on houses to signal infection. A single sick family could quarantine an otherwise healthy household with windows and doors shut up for 40 days. Those who absolutely had to travel carried white rods wherever they went. Citizens burned contaminated clothing. Churches barred vagrants. Bonfires burned at night to rid infection from the air. The Privy Council closed fairs and plays. Appointed individuals attended on sick households. Cemeteries segregated plague burials. The Queen, meanwhile, took shelter in Windsor, prohibiting anyone traveling from London to come through, on pain of death.
You gotta love a monarch who takes actionable steps to prioritize the health and safety of her people. Now, to lighten the mood, here's a catchy and colorful song by Ordinary Elephant called Rust Right Through.
Is that all you have? Sitting on my dash, and a picture I took, sunlight for a flash, the whole family out front, 'cause that's what you do. Sitting on concrete steps, I grew up climbing, I take to the time now, I still reach for the rain, 'cause that's what you do. There's a comfort in keeping to pack, doing what I know and knowing what I am. The safety of a rail gives my hands something to do. One day this rain is gonna rust right through. Yeah, one day it's gonna rust right through. There are places to go and milestones to meet. Each one that I reach says something about me. It's what they wanna hear, 'cause that's what I do. Kept my head down, kept my mouth shut, anything to keep me from screwing up, holding on to that version of me, 'cause that's what I do. There's a comfort in keeping to pack, doing what I know and knowing what I hate. The safety of a rail gives my hands something to do, but one day this rail is gonna rust right through. Yeah, one day it's gonna rust right through. Middle of this highway, same old drive. What might be the middle of my life, where I'm supposed to be. That's what they say. When I doubt that what I have to say could ever count for much, giving in what I really need feels like giving up. But I'm done giving up on myself, holding on to what they say. There's a comfort in keeping to path, doing what I know and knowing what I hate. The safety of a rail gives my hands something to do, but one day this rail is gonna rust right through. Yeah, one day it's gonna rust right through. One day this rail is gonna rust right through. Yeah, one day it's gonna rust right through.
Next up, we have Tara, who will be reading Sonnet 90 by the Bard himself.
Then hate me when thou wilt, if ever, now. Now, while the world has bent my deeds to cross, joined with the spite of fortune, make me bow. And do not drop in for an after loss. Oh, do not, when my heart hath scaped this sorrow, come in the rearward of a conquered woe. Give not a windy night, a rainy morrow, to linger out a purposed overthrow. If thou wilt leave me, do not leave me last, when other petty griefs have done their spite, but in the onset come. So shall I taste at first the very worst of fortune's night, and other strains of woe, which now seem woe, compared with loss of thee, will not seem so.
The city's cramped conditions, of course, worsened the spread of the illness during the summers and invigorated its problematic association with poverty. Like the Queen, privileged and wealthy classes were able to relocate to the more temperate air of the country and conduct business in less dangerous counties until death rates went down. Physicians recognized that the plague was communicable and that transmission intensified in large public gatherings. Throughout the early modern period, they also indulged in theories about its origins, a sickness germinated by people living in putrid, dirty places and passing that corruption on to others through the air. Its risk factors: people with warm constitutions were given to overeating, drink, or a lack of hygiene, more likely to develop pestilence. Or its spread: the common citizen more vulnerable to the disease and more likely to have it, the virtuous nobility less likely to have it and less likely to infect others. Meanwhile, religious sermons linked the spread of the disease as evidence of God's punishment for society's sin and moral decay. Over the following century, bubonic plague would reemerge several times in the city, notably for Shakespeare in 1593 and 1603, just as King James took the throne. With each wave, as London faced tens of thousands of deaths, plague orders shuttered the playhouses and forced early modern playing companies and artists to find ways to keep their work alive.
Tied to life, tied to death, artists always manage to find a way. I'm reminded of this all the time, but never more so than in conversations like this one between Sweet Tea Shakespeare artistic director Jeremy Feebig and Tara Nicole Williams, a professional fight and intimacy choreographer based in North Carolina. Give it a listen and enjoy.
Here we are. So I don't know that much about you, and you probably don't know much about me. So why don't you tell me about you first, and we'll go from there.
Okay. My name is Tara Nicole Williams. I am a professional fight and intimacy choreographer. I'm also an actor, educator, and combat artist. I've been involved in theater in some way, shape, or form since, I guess, I was 12, 13. I started taking theater very seriously in middle school. My first lead role, I played Captain Hook in the musical Peter Pan when I was in the 8th grade. And I think that solidified my love of theater. Before that, I was actually really into horseback riding, specifically show jumping, just like overall horsemanship. And I did that for a long time. I think I still own my saddle somewhere. Yeah, and then when I was in university, I got very serious with stage combat. And I've been with the Society of American Fight Directors for the past 10 years now, I want to say. And then a few years ago, I was introduced to some of the founding members of Intimacy Directors International, who are now Intimacy Directors and Coordinators. And I've been pursuing intimacy direction ever since then. Artistically, that's who I am.
Good. And what about who you are when you're not doing things?
So when I'm not doing theater, I am a massive nerd. I play D&D with a bunch of friends, and we meet every other week.
And also theater, in a way.
It is, yeah. Well, and it's an interesting group of people, too, because I was introduced to this group. I wasn't friends with really anybody except a guy that I went to college with, and we hadn't seen each other in many years. And then he was like, hey, I'm playing D&D with a bunch of friends of mine, if you're interested in joining. And I was like, absolutely, I am. So I play with them every other week, and they're people from all different backgrounds. Some of them are like film people, like they make films, like IT specialists. One of the guys, he is, though it's not his job, he's basically a part-time handyman. And so they all come from very different backgrounds, but all of us getting together to like nerd out for a few hours is wonderful. I love that. Yeah, that's a nerd-based enjoyment of human interaction is what I really love doing. I used to go to conventions a lot when I was younger and had a bit more spare time and spare coin, because I went to like Dragon Con and stuff like that. I've never been to Comic-Con. But Lord, if I ever get a chance, I am dressing up. I'm going full cosplay.
Tell me what moves you.
A lot of things. I'm mostly moved by people who passionately walk through the world. And I don't think it matters what that passion is, but when you meet somebody who just, you see this like fire and this like brightness that just emanates off of them, and all they want to do is share that with you and hopefully ignite something in someone else. Like when I meet somebody who just sparks passion and joy and excitement and enthusiasm for whatever, I am instantly reminded of how beautiful and powerful humanity is. I am easily turned towards pessimism if I'm left to my own devices. I have a hard time when I see a lot of pain and hurt and violence and trauma in the world. It's very hard for me not to take that personally and to internalize it, and then to become doubtful of what I can do, doubtful of humanity's desire to want to be better. Like I become very existentially melancholic and depressed. So when I see people who have recognized that in the world but have not let that sway them from the things that they want to do or the passions that they want to pursue or the hope that they still carry with them, when I meet those people, it's like meeting pure sunlight. And it's just, and it those are the people that remind me of why I love what I do, why I continue to pursue the work I pursue, why I continue to fight for the things I fight for.
And that's our show for today. Once again, I'm Claire Martin. Thank you so much for listening to the Sweet Tea Shakespeare Hours. Before we go, we'd like to say cheers to the mighty donors to our Playhouse campaign, which is an ongoing project we'll be talking about down the road in future episodes. Let's give those donors an at-home cheers. The second group is our sustaining givers. These are folks who join us each month with a contribution that helps us do what we do. These people are our lifeblood, and we'd love to have you join them at patreon.com/sweetteashakes. These folks get special access to all kinds of goodies, like song recordings that won't appear anywhere else. Let's give them a through the face mask cheers.
This show was written by Jeremy Fiebig, Claire Martin, Claire Kimball, and Rob Gibbs with a selection from our early modern playwright friend Thomas Nash. Interviewed was Tara Nicole Williams. Thank you so much, Tara. Our theme song was written by Owen Eddy. The song Rust Right Through was provided by our good friends Ordinary Elephant. We'll post a link to their website in the show notes. The show is produced by Claire Martin and engineered by Fidel Benton. Our general manager is Ashanti Bennett. Jen Pomeranke also assisted with this episode. We are Sweet Tea Shakespeare.
And I'm Aaron.
I am Linda Flynn.
I am Jane Moran.
I'm Nathan.
If you're not quite done with that drink or want to hang out with us at a future episode, drop us a line at hours@sweetteashakespeare.com. We can have a time for a cocktail hour online while we wait for this viral storm to pass.
Claire, there it was.
Yeah,
What did you think?
I thought it sounded great. Congratulations.
You too. We did the thing.
We did the thing.
It's up. It's
Yeah.
live. People can listen to their heart's content. I will say, everyone who didn't catch that or would like to hear it without me interrupting with my chair squeaks and iPhone noise, just visit the link right down there, anchor.fm/sweetteashakes, or it's on everything except Apple Podcasts right now, and it will be on Apple Podcasts. But it's on Spotify, it's Overcast, Stitcher, all of that. So just give it a listen at one of those. And tell all your friends. If there's an opportunity to review us, do that. Give us 10 stars.
Maximum is 5, but if you can find a way to give us 10, please do it.
Here's what I say. I say create a fake account and then give us another 5 stars. Yeah, so we're going to start doing these a little more frequently. They're going to be like little nuggets of delight.
Yeah.
Play in your ears. So that when you return to a gym someday, you'll have Sweet Tea Shakespeare podcast going along with you. So we had things to talk about.
We have lots of stuff to talk about.
And I'm probably going to sneeze, but somewhere in here we're going to talk about Patreon, our next podcast plans.
Yep.
We'll talk about how people can contact us. If you're listening and have questions, comments, observations, just put them in the thing. Put them in the thing, and we will talk about them.
We'll endeavor.
So we have to talk about our next podcast things, our projects, our big projects. We have lots of little ones planned. But do you want to talk about one of our next ones?
Yeah, sure. Well, our next big beefy beast that we're after is a full cast, full production radio drama of Christopher Marlowe's Dr. Faustus, which is incredibly exciting. And I actually have been in contact with the cast this week. It is a slew of just extraordinary actors that I am giddy with excitement to work with. So we're going to be doing probably about a 2-hour cutting of the play. We have 19 dynamite actors lined up from all over the country, and actually one actor is calling in from England. So this is a huge, huge project. That's
the mother country.
What'd you say?
The mother country.
The mother. Oh yeah. And yeah, we just wanted to make sure that we reached way back into the roots here. And we're going to have like sound effects and original music and all of the spooky, ear-splitting sounds that you would expect from a story about a guy that gets dragged into hell at the end. Spoiler alert. I'm very, very excited, and it's going to allow me to flex my directorial muscles a little bit, get to work with some just killer actors over Zoom, and we're all just going to learn a little bit more about the capacity of voice acting and podcast drama. So that's the next kind of big thing that's on its way. And then we have lots of like other podcast projects in the works. Which, Jeremy, would you like me to start talking about, or do you want to introduce?
Well, I just wanted to say that we're also most folks who follow us closely will know that we were planning on a midsummer this spring that cannot happen. We're doing it in June 2021. Fingers crossed. But those folks had been rehearsing on Zoom for like a month, and we decided to honor their work by getting it recorded. We're going to turn it into a podcast as well, so it's coming soon as well.
Yeah. You'll have the opportunity to hear a lot of early modern drama on your daily walk or drive or, quiet meditation in your home.
That's right. I am an advocate of like getting all of the midsummer episodes when they come, putting them in your ears, and going and getting lost in the woods. And it's like a little experiential. It's like you're building your own haunted house.
Please don't actually get lost
in nature.
This is brought to you by.
Well, if you have your phone, you've got GPS. You're good.
We are so lucky to be living in the age of technology.
This is true.
The Midsummer crew have put together a beautiful recording as well, and it will be. You'll just have like an endless supply of fantastic actors, delivering some old timey text into your little earbuds.
Delightful. What else is coming our way?
Jeremy and I and our wonderful friend Kelly, the three of us, are triangulating our love of Shakespeare and our weird nerdy knowledge of Enneagram typing, and we're going to be releasing a 9-episode series where we type Shakespeare characters according to the 9 categories. Jeremy and I have some very different opinions about some of these, and so we are going to kind of go to the mat with the characters that we would like to slot in. We're going to be going in order, and the first episode is going to be coming your way the week of June 10th.
Oh my.
So that's going to be fun, and I would say potentially bloody, but we're not going to be in the same room, so the most we're going to be able to do to each other is, fling some choice Shakespearean insults.
We could mail blood back and forth to each other across the continent. I'm sure the Postal Service would love that.
That's not only going to save the USPS, but that's going to be what quarantined productions of Titus have to start doing.
Yes.
Like throw blood packets across the stage.
And I will say I'm very excited about that project because so I've been like working is a loose term, but working on Enneagram stuff for a couple years now, doing a lot of reading, trying to type myself, and I listen to a lot of podcasts about the Enneagram. I read a lot about the Enneagram, and like at any given time, I'm like I find myself in a rage or in tears about every single type because I think it's me, and then oh my God, the next week I'm that one, and then oh my God, I'm that one. And so I'm interested in this project as a venture in self-discovery. That's right.
I love that you're gonna have your own little like Hamlet experience as we go through. You're gonna try to like find yourself in each new. That's so funny because for me, like my type is just so like painfully obvious. It's never even crossed my mind that I would be a different one. So we're coming at this from 2 very different places.
I think I have ones that I lean to. I think many of my friends see me as an 8.
That's what I am.
Yeah. But I test as a 4. I feel strongly sometimes that my life has been the story of a 3. I have anxiety and withdrawal like a 5 and a 6.
Wow.
The only one I'm pretty confident I'm not is 9, which is the peacemaker, because
I know
that's not me. I do not make peace. I do not make peace. So anyway, I'm excited. I'm excited for that, and excited to work with our board member Kelly Artis.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun.
Totally brilliant. I am incredibly honored to have lined up a series of interviews with some extraordinary theater artists, actors, dramaturgs, directors, drama teachers, who all in some way, in some form, have intersected with Shakespeare and classical text and have kind of strong feelings about it. And I'm going to be sitting down with them over the month of June and having really like in-depth conversations with them. They will sort of start off in an interview style where I'll have some sort of big existential, what moves you, why do you make theater questions. And then that will serve as a springboard into issues of like diversity and equity in casting and rehearsal practices, like restorative justice in theater, theater and contemporary politics. These are truly brilliant people that I'm so lucky to know, and they're giving us their time and insights to share what theater means to them right now in this uncertain climate. So look out for those interviews.
Excellent. I've got a few of those as well. And as you know, I'm working with my grad school friend Rob, and we're doing a weekly thing now called After Hours, which is us talking about Shakespeare and popular culture, heavier on the popular culture. And I don't know what we're talking about this week. We talked about Succession and my Oxfordian stalkers.
You brought that upon yourself. You really, really did.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's the greatest entertainment I've had in weeks at least. So
on cable, that's for sure.
Yeah. So that's what's up, everybody.
Yep.
That's what we're up to. Still looking ahead to the possibilities of live performance sometime in the future.
Yeah.
We don't know. We're working on things.
We are.
In hope. We'll see. And we'll announce them when we're good and ready. It may come down to like we have to become a vaccine site. You get your vaccine on the way into a performance as your, like Julius Caesar on your way in, we stab you, vaccine. And then, I don't know. It's thematic.
With love. We'll stab you with love.
Yeah. That's not good. Anyway, so the invitation is, I have many invitations. One is down here. That link will get you to our podcast. There are 2 episodes. One is like a launch party we did with a bunch of music and things back in February. It's got some original writing. It's got the Sweet Tea band, Worshipful Company of Spectacle Makers, working on some stuff. And it's good. And then we have today's episode good, and there'll be more of that coming soon. If you have show ideas, if you have live stream ideas, if you want to come on the show and talk about your inner life, very open to that. You can email us at that email address right there, hours@sweetteashakespeare.com. It comes directly to Claire and me. There are no administrators. You can, if you've got hate mail, you just send it. And I will say this, we'll read it.
Yeah, we will.
Probably theatrically. So
Yeah.
I invite all the Oxfordians actually to do that, and I'll be happy to read your Facebook comments live on the air in a theatrical voice. Or maybe we could get Nathan to read it like as Christopher Walken.
I like that better. We need to do it in a celebrity voice, and we need to do it on the air while drinking copious amounts of alcohol.
I think we can do that. We'll do that. And then, so the last thing is, and you're going to be hearing more about this soon, because it's in that little address right there, patreon.com/sweetteashakes is like our, what's the word? It's like an online community where you give us a little and we give you a lot. So it's a monthly pledge. It's like subscribing to a magazine or to Netflix or to Hulu or it's like paying your water bill, but it's like a Shakespeare bill. It helps us out. It pays everything from like software fees so we can live stream to phone bill. It pays our general manager. It pays her. All really good reasons to give. It starts at $5 and it goes up from there, and there are a ton of perks at every level. But we do a weekly behind-the-scenes podcast called Cocktail Hours. That's usually Claire and me and our good friend and company member, Jesse. And we usually bring some guests in and stuff like that. But it's exclusive for the Patreon people, early release. And they got all kinds of other stuff. We hand out stickers. I mean, we do. It's crazy. We do all kinds of things. And those people, those patrons get like free access to all of the digital stuff, including some of the video things and the streaming concerts that we have planned soon. So you just want to hop on there, make a pledge, or if you're already a patron, considering bumping up. You are not going to Starbucks these days. You are at home behind the safety of a mask. And so those lattes, you just spin them right up, put them on your credit card, and give them to Sweet Tea Shakespeare instead. And I promise you, Claire and I will not go get extra lattes on your behalf. We will put all of that funding right into quality stuff for you. Last thing I want to say is a thank you to the Arts Council of Fayetteville, Cumberland County.
Yes.
They
Amen. So much.
I have very good things to say about this group. I've been involved in some way with the Arts Council for about a decade. Since we had the idea for Sweet Tea Shakespeare in 2012, they hopped on board with a grant and have given us a grant every year. This year, they've given us 4 grants. 4. Going into the 2021 season, and they have a grant now where they're supporting artists like Tara Nicole Williams and others that will be coming onto our various podcasts, giving them a little bit of support at a tricky time to be an artist. So we're very grateful to the Arts Council for that.
Yeah.
Nathan says he's going to come on and read Oxfordian complaints in celebrity voices.
Bless your heart. Thank you so much.
I think it's going to be fantastic. So maybe we'll do that later this week. I think it'll be good.
It'll be so.
We could sell some T-shirts.
I've heard the legends, the stories of Nathan's impersonation of Christopher Walken.
Oh gosh. They are fantastic. So we'll get him on later in the week, I think, and yeah, we'll see you all later. Thanks, Claire.
Yeah.
Enjoy your night. Yeah. All right.
I mean, it's like the middle of the afternoon, but yeah.
Oh, I'm like getting ready for. It's supper time here. I think my family is playing with Nerf guns outside, so I'm going to join them.
Fantastic. Enjoy those prime ribs.
All right. Good night, afternoon. Sorry for my East Coast bias. I'm not ashamed.
It's fine. Won't last forever.
TTFN.